Why didn't anybody tell you that when you be a mom, it'll be so hard?
Assalamualaikum, welcome back to our Safe Space podcast organized by Women and Wealth. Today we have our episode 7 with our dearest, none other than Nana from our cohort 6 Women and Wealth workshop. So welcome back, Nana. How have you been?
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
In what sense? Like after the program, how's life now?
Actually, right now, it's about I just stopped my freelance job. So actually now I can breathe. So I can actually focus on bulan puasa ni. My family actually set up a tadarus for the whole family. So a few of us take a few juzu. So I just want to focus on that. I think it's been a while since
Ramadan.
Because I know I'm finding my own path to be a better Muslim, a better mom, a better person. I know I'm not there yet, but I hope I'm getting there.
So the theme is betterment lah, if I could maybe kick off this conversation, because then we're going to go deep into that conversation.
The theme is now to aim to go into sugar. Because before this, when you were younger, you take things like that macam for granted, or you don't really think about afterlife. You think about death, but that's it. You forgot about the part where
what comes next, right?
Yeah, dalam kubur, alam kubur, and then alam after kubur. That's a big thing. How can people not think about it? But if you think about it too much, you become paranoid. So I'm finding that balance.
Okay, so balance and betterment, and then just curating the life that you aspire to have, so then one day you can present that in the afterlife. Life after kubur. Wow, today's what topic.
Kurang siksaan kubur, insyaAllah.
Amin.
Sempat taubat before meninggal.
Yeah, that's such an apt theme, you know. Apt theme for this holy month Ramadan. So now, because this is the month of Ramadan, before I go deeper, can you please introduce yourself?
I'm Nana, cohort 6. I want to share my age, 32 years old soon, and I'm proud. It's nice being in your 30s, but you finally feel the independence. You have control of your life, and then you can actually set a goal for yourself, and then you don't really have anybody to answer to. Especially for me, I don't have a boss as of now, so I don't have anybody to answer to. You feel so free.
Now, your mom, right? With a son. How old is your son?
He's almost 4.
Almost 4, mashallah. Because why I'm highlighting your son is because when I first knew you in the initial part of Women and Wealth cohort 6, the topic of him always was being raised in class. So maybe before I jump into your journey in Women and Wealth, could you explain as to why you came into the program? Like what happened before?
First of all, it's not actually one reason. There are macam many factors. The main factor yang I realize is I've been depending on everybody around me. I mean, it's a blessing, but it's also embarrassing because I'm already 30. People pay for my life, my lifestyle, and even my son. So you belanja makan, pergi holiday.
Rezeki, right? Rezeki
it's rezeki, but when are you going to start repaying back to people around you, and then funding yourself, funding your family? That was the first thing I was thinking about. There was a time that I feel like, okay, I want to take over the whole financial part of my household. I just want to see, actually my spending is bad, so I want to see how bad it is.
Okay.
It is very bad.
It's sort of like predicted, okay, it's bad, but like how bad is that?
So my husband keeps saying like, we're running out of money. So I never felt that, because growing up, if I don't have enough money, I don't have to tell my mom, and then my dad, they just like macam ada Bluetooth.
Transfer?
Transfers. Oh, Alhamdulillah. Bila dah kahwin, of course we don't live with them, so they don't see you, so they don't know whether
they don't get the Bluetooth anymore.
Yeah, they don't get the Bluetooth anymore. You don't know whether you're tight or struggling. Then I feel bad also from my husband about this is the first time. You didn't want to marry someone to depend on them. You marry someone because you just want a friend, a partner for life.
And complement one another.
Yeah, not because you want a new set of parents to jaga you. So that's why I started that. So I think the first few days of joining Women and Wealth, I terus macam, okay, the first step that I have to do is actually I ask for his permission to give him his big chunk of pay into my bank. Then I manage it. Yang bills set aside, future school fees set aside, and then whatever insurance to set aside.
Before this, it was him who managed all those things?
I mean, dia bayar bill, and then I beli grocery, but we don't keep track. Habis. We don't know mana hilang. So we set aside untuk pergi makan, untuk grocery tu. And I would say the biggest chunk was for pergi makan lah, eating out, you know. Sekali 2-3 orang orang makan, just the three of us is already 200-300 bucks.
One outing, single
It's
seating,
just single
right?
seating. So it's easily 5 times is 1,000. I cannot keep on doing that. So but I don't have income. I don't have steady income. I used to work, tapi I was embarrassingly admit that I'm not a loyal employee. Macam I only last a year and a half. I don't find the need to macam why must I stay in a company?
There's no fulfillment, so you
tak juga sebab like I said, the money was there. Bila I work, my pay was like, very little kan, starting pay. So of course I was thinking like, actually if I stay home, I can make more money sebab I tak payah spend all the food. I was thinking, cooking and eating out is a lot. Your gaji tu dah kontrak
gone just
nothing.
for lunch,
Yes,
right?
for
Because
Grab.
we work in KL.
Belanja kawan lagi because
Ni charity.
yeah, because you get people belanja you kan, so indirectly you get back lah the same
You gotta
personality
reciprocate
behavior.
lah.
People belanja kawan, but your parents had money, they can afford to belanja you and your friends all the time. You cannot, so you tak boleh. You kena sedar sikit your financial is this much and their financial is that much.
So that was before. So then you decided to quit.
I quit after I get married, just before COVID. It was 2019.
Oh,
it
bless you.
Yeah,
That's
and
such a perfect timing.
yeah, I know, and I feel so bad say this, but I know a lot of people are having a bad time during COVID with layoffs and so on. But I just got married with my husband, and it was just the two of us at home. Of course, we were having lots of fun. We could play games the whole day.
Baru kahwin.
baru
Romance was
kahwin.
still hard.
We don't have any responsibilities. Semua tu tak ada. And then after COVID, after semua tu, then you like, oh my god, it's time to get back to reality. Kita kena grow up, be an adult.
Yeah. You had your son.
Then we had our son.
How did that change you as a
A
person?
lot.
Yeah, in what sense?
Super duper a lot. It's like, obviously I had postpartum. Embarrassingly again to admit that the hardest thing for me is being a mom. Sebab growing up, I can't remember anything very susah that I had to do besides cuci tahi.
It's hard for me.
Kat cicak, I don't know, because I hate cicak. So that's the hardest thing for me. So being a mom is like, oh my god, another level. Why didn't anybody tell you that when you be a mom, it'll be so hard when you really just give up your life and everything is for your kid. Tambah lagi kalau you don't want help, maybe you don't think that the help is good enough, or you believe that your process is the best. So bila you put yourself in that
Motherhood.
you kena like, okay, sleep at minimum 14 hours a day, minimum 12 hours a day. When you put that in the military punya regime, it's so stressful. I don't know why I did that. I think orang lain dah anak happy je, sampai 10 orang pun happy je.
But it's a process, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that was motherhood like to you, and we cannot deny that that was significant breakthrough lah, and transformation for you from like a girl to a young woman, and from a young woman to a young mother. About your son, kan? So dari segi kewangan, it was still okay, even after having a son.
It was okay until the big medical bill.
How did that happen?
We were on holiday sebab normal lah kan, YOLO, you pergi holiday, nothing bad will happen. You never take insurance anyway.
Travel insurance,
No,
personal
we didn't
insurance,
take it. My mother-in-law said this, you will always think it might not happen to you.
That mindset, it might not happen. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Everybody has that.
Yeah, dia
At some
macam
point
you
in their
dengar
lives.
all of this story of, like you said, bankruptcy or maybe accident semua tu. Of course you are scared, tapi you rasa macam jauh.
Yeah, like it won't
Macam,
happen to you.
I don't think that way. I don't think that it will not happen to me, but I never try to imagine if it happens to me.
Okay.
Nak kata like it didn't cross my mind that it will happen to me, tak juga. It's just that I never like try to live in that situation where everything is like, oh my god, the rock bottom.
And then what happened?
We were on holiday in the UK and then he was sick.
Just a random sick, macam flu fever.
Batuk. I mean, the diagnosis was streptococcus pneumonia, but it's a very severe infection.
How old was he?
He was 2 years and 1 month.
Allah, Shan. And then?
Yeah, I know, obviously. Sorry, because I have PTSD from that. Obviously, I blame myself, kan? I try to keep everything right as a mom. So, of course, I feel like, how can this happen? I make sure of quality. I don't care about quantity. I care about quality. When I keep with the qualityness for a very long time, for 2 years, and then he collapsed macam tu. It's like, what did I do wrong? I give all my time for him. Tak, bukan marah dia, just marah the situation. A lot of parents just bawa their anak go out masa sakit. It doesn't happen to them, but it happens to me.
Like out of all people, why you and your son?
Because I thought he was so healthy, and then they checked his infection markers is so high, 300 something. I think they couldn't detect it earlier, and then when they could detect it, and it was so high already, the whole right lung was like almost putih, the whole thing.
Because of the pneumonia.
Yeah, the Paima and pleural effusion.
Oh, we're gonna have a tough time
All the
transcribing
terms.
this.
He took the strongest antibiotic, 2 antibiotics at once. It was crazy.
You were in the UK for a holiday. You didn't have any personal insurance, travel insurance, so you had to be hospitalized using.
Pharma lah.
How was the bill like in the initial stage in pounds?
There's no deposit actually. In UK, they treat first without checking whether the patient can pay or cannot pay.
I see.
And then they don't double standard tourists and non-tourists. As long as you are critical, you need help, you will get the treatment. That is for sure. So that's one thing that I salute the NHS. Because of them, it's alive anyway. The bill comes after.
Okay.
What made it so expensive was because it was a 3 different hospitals. So but the first hospital was the whole A&E, accident and emergency. That was free, by the way. So A&E in UK is free, but the treatment after will be covered by your insurance or yourself. After A&E was the whole hospitalized lah. 8 or 9 days in the
You must have had
hospital.
all the tubes and then like wires everywhere, right?
That night when he was the ICU, it was a bit of a bittersweet, but that was the first night I ever spent away from him. I wasn't allowed to sleep with him, kan? He was in a care, but I felt okay sebab there was caring, beautiful nurse taking care of him, giving him orange and a straw with sponge, so he just like in the clouds. Angel serving him, and he was on whatever heavy medication. He was in heaven. So I spent the first night away from him. That night was hard lah sebab tak pernah spend away from him, right?
That process must have given you mentioned PTSD.
Yeah.
Do you still think about it today?
Of course. You tak minta datang, but dia datang. Macam you dengar dia batuk.
It does.
Yeah.
Because the body keeps scores, right?
Yeah, sebab you remember there were the time that he couldn't really breathe well, and then you didn't know that he wasn't breathing well. You thought it was just him having stomach ache or something. Of course, you were like, oh my god, yeah.
So coming back to the hospital episode, how long was the tree hospital?
He had a bad reaction from probably the infection itself or the antibiotic. So he went to another hospital to follow up, but they said his hemoglobin was very low. It was like 4 or something. So he needed blood. So blood transfusion lagi. So after blood transfusion, they scanned him again, and then they checked that his lungs is still not fully clear. The infection was going down, meaning the bacteria are there. Cuma the gums is all still there. So another hospital called us in, so we had to go to another hospital. He was in St. Mary's first. He was there like more than a week. So me and my husband kena pindah-pindah, tengok hotel mana, Airbnb mana yang
And
murah.
that at your own expense?
Yes. So it was like 1 night here, 2 nights there, and then 3 nights here, maybe 2 nights balik here.
You
So
couldn't sleep in the
I
hospital?
keep, one parent in the hospital, another parent outside, very close to. Maybe you should just sleep by the street because in the morning you're gonna go right in the hospital. We're gonna do tag team anyway. Yeah, forget about mandi lah. Forget about all those normal personal hygiene. That was the course. So that was parents' expenses. I wouldn't say our own expenses because we don't have money.
What did that experience teach you? I understand as a mom, you give your best kan to your son, give the very best qualities and quantity, tapi still jadi macam tu sebab Allah izin.
Looking back, people around me, I mean my mom and dad was there for a while. Then my parents-in-law pun flew in because everybody concerned about my son, the golden grandchild. So they were telling me that's the reason why it happens to you, because you can handle it.
Allah takkan duga kita di luar kemampuan. The dugaan tu because He knows you can go through it.
And then I cannot forget macam you sit in the hospital, you on the 7th floor in the kids ward, and then you look down, macam you tengok orang lain having normal life, but you are there and you don't know whether your son will make it or not. I cannot forget that, looking down for people going to work and living life normally.
Then you were on 7th floor.
And then I remember after so many days in the hospital, and then when I come out, it feels so weird because this is how normal life feels like, but right now we're not in the normal cars. I had to just quickly grab something, and then I realized that wait, I'm not here for sightseeing or whatnot, or just to go rest at home or something. I have to go back to the hospital, so I still remember those walks when I take alone. I think that whole experience matured me or something.
Yeah, it's like a crash course. Nana 2.0 to Nana 3.0.
My parents and then my parents-in-law pun, they understand that Nana hasn't experienced anything like this. This is a big deal for her.
We have concluded our episode for today. If you like what you're watching, if you have any questions, drop a comment in the text box below. For future collaborations, you can email us at marketing@aisharaman.com.